welcome to another live stream watch-along reaction. Tonight we are watching and reacting to CF Montreal versus Atlanta United FC in the MLS Cup Playoffs 2024 Eastern Wildcard matchup. The winner, whether it's over 90 minutes or penalties, it's either or, straight to penalties after 90 for the first two rounds, the wild card and the conference quarters. The winner plays Miami on Friday in that three-game series, in game one of the three-game series on Friday. Will it be Montreal in Miami or Atlanta United? Will it be a quick trek? Well, I don't know if it'll be a quick trek because I don't know if they're going straight from Montreal to Miami or from back to Atlanta, then to Miami. But either way, I guess not. But in theory, yes. If they make it to a game three, it is a quicker trek. But depending on how they do it. Or Montreal going from Montreal to Miami. Who knows? With that being said, though, CF Montreal versus really a 6:45 kickoff. Well, actually, wait, 26-36. Well, I'm not too surprised, but whatever. Let's do this. It's weird both Montreal teams are playing tonight. Yeah, but I'm fine with the Habs winning comparatively to Montreal. I mean, CF Montreal, I picked to win the game, but it doesn't really hurt my bracket either, considering I didn't pick an upset in the first round. And technically, in the MLS Cup predictions, for what you can win money off of, the prediction bracket challenge, you don't have to pick the wild card matches. So it only really hurts my cred on the predictions that I made on the channel. Well, that being said, if they lose, but the upshot of that is Montreal lost. So no, because it starts in the conference quarterfinals. I think you have till Friday. These games you don't, because I guess technically it's stupid to have the wild card count. So once the wild card team comes in, you could pick from there. But Miami's beating both these guys anyway, so not good. Chivas wins 2-1. 2-1 Chivas, in my opinion. They're playing. They're play-ins. Exactly, they're wild card matches. But I did my predictions early anyway because I had to make the video on Sunday. So there you go. With that being said, starting 11s are as follows. For CF Montreal, in goal, Jonathan Sawa. The back three of Fernando Alvarez, Joel Waterman, George Campbell. The midfield four, Jaquil Marshall-Ruddy, Samuel Piet, Nathan Saliba, Raheem Edwards. The front midfield two of Bryce Duke, Caden Clark, and Joseph Martinez up top for Montreal. For Atlanta, we have Brad Guzan, Ronald Hernandez, Steon Gregerson, Derek Williams, and Pedro Amador. The midfield two of Bartosz Schliess, and a Johnny Fortune. The attacking midfield three of Brooks Lennon, Alexi Moranchuk, Sabo Lopjanitse, and Jamal Tiare up top for Atlanta. You think CF Montreal beat Atlanta? That's what I picked. I picked Montreal to win today. Do I want them to? At least personally? No. Hold on. Do I want them to personally? No. No, I don't. Do I think they will win? Yeah. So it's either my prediction or my heart. I'm going, I think prediction-wise they win, though. That sucks. My heart doesn't want Montreal to win. My gut and the prediction said yes, they do. So one part of me wins, either my heart or my gut tonight. I don't know. It doesn't hurt my bracket challenge because either team was losing to Miami anyway. I don't even think either of them would take it to 3, let alone. So there's that. But let alone, I don't think either team would take it to 3. So there you go there. But Rangers score a minute in. That sucks. But we'll find out what happens. There are 2 matches in the Central American Cup being played tonight as well. I'll have those results on that part of that bracket set. We got Motagua Aguila playing Antigua GFC Alajuelense semifinal first leg. I will be live for the semifinal second leg of that tie, by the way. There's been so many playoff games over the middle of the weeks in this best of 3 and wild card, so this would still do me better, though. So for the Central American Cup and Caribbean Cup heads, at least I got one of them this week and a couple next week, but I'll do the finals too. Luckily, the finals aren't election week. There's no games on election day, so no, I'm not going live for the returns, but I'll watch those myself. I'll see the meltdowns myself. I'll see at least, well, November 5th. November 5th. And no matter what, I'll be voting in person. And no matter what, I'll be voting in person. Because if we do go on vacation, it'll be later November before Thanksgiving. If we do go somewhere, I was just informed of that. But so I will be voting in person on election day. No matter what. As you knew, it was a little bit in flux if you've been here a while. Chivas plays November 5th. Watch that instead. Maybe I'll throw that on in like the corner. Maybe I'll like throw that in on the corner. I don't know. If I feel despair that night, maybe. Maybe. But teams are walking in for this wild card match. More likely, I'll probably throw that on if I'm feeling despair that night. Well, it's Mexico. That makes sense. Okay, yeah. It's funny because NXT, they pushed NXT to November 6th. I think NXT is still on Tuesdays, normally on the CW, but they moved it to the 6th because, hey, that's smart. Starting 11 for Montreal, Jonathan Sawa, Fernando Alvarez, Joel Waterman, George Campbell, Raheem Edwards, Nathan Saliba, Samuel Piette, Shaquille Marshall-Ruddy, Bryce Duke, Caden Clark, Joseph Martinez. Let me see who they play. Phil said Moreno's a doubt tomorrow. Damn it. Starting 11, Brad Guzan, Pedro Amador, Derek Williams, Stian Gregerson, Ronald Hernandez, Johnny Fortune, Bartosz Schliech, Saba Lovjanice, Alexei Moranchuk, Brooks Lennon, Jamal Tiari. See who we got. Barcelona versus Bayern, 8. 8. Eight goals for Bayern. Actually playing really well under company. 8 goals. Damn, 2-0 Rangers. Oof, my own. Joseph Martinez, last 5 games, 6 goals, and he scored 2 against Atlanta, his former team. Is he going to do it again? That's player to watch for Montreal. Player to watch for Atlanta, Saba Lopjanice. Scored Atlanta's opening goal 7 times this season. He's no Thiago Almada, but he's a good player. That's too generous for me, 12 goals. I just want to see Barcelona get stomped out, please. I hope Alphonso Davies scores 3. He won't score 3, but give me Alphonso Davies scoring a goal and 2 assists, please. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Give me Alphonso Davies 1 goal, 2 assists, or 2 goals, 2 assists, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. By the way, I'll be live at 11:45 in the morning on Thursday for Chelsea versus Panathinaikos versus Chelsea. That's going to be a fun one. That's going to be a fun one. Early as hell. Early rise. The early bird gets the worm. Or I guess picks the shamrock. Either way. That's a little bit too conservative for me. With that being said, waiting for this game to start. Montreal, Atlanta. Let's see how this goes. Oh, yeah. Let's hope Chelsea's. I don't know if they'll stomp out Panathinaikos. It's hard to play in Greece. I just hope they don't come up snake eyes. That's all I'm going to ask. Give me like a 2-0 win. I'll accept it. Yes, Alex. Am I real? Yes, I am. Yes, I'm real. Can you do this if you were a hologram? Can you pinch your cheeks and pull them? No. I'm real. I am real. I'm not a robot because robots don't have skin. I'm not a hologram because you can't pull skin. If you were a hologram, I am real, yes. I may like to say, but you can. Ironically enough, you can. Yeah, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Yes. Stream Premier League. Maybe during January, Chelsea and Real Madrid games. Hey, you know what? If the Conference League games go well, maybe in January to fill some time instead of, hey, maybe in January. Or finally, or who knows, maybe I'll start the season next year with a Chelsea game. Who knows? Maybe one of those festive Chelsea games. Who knows? I don't. I'll have to figure it out because Mississippi State ain't making a bowl game. And I feel like starting a little bit as late as I did, starting the season. I feel like starting the season for RSR6 as late as I didn't really work out. It was what, early, almost mid-January? Like the first weekend of January after having a finale, like what, December 19th or something like that? I don't know if that's a long period of trying to get yourself, like being off and getting yourself back in the algorithm. I feel like we started a bit slower this year when Asian Cup and African Cup came along and the Miami games because of that longer layoff. So maybe I will do more Premier League and La Liga games in January with NFL playoffs, of course, and some Leafs games and the World Juniors final, hopefully. Because Mississippi State and the national championship, I'll still do that. Because Mississippi State is not making a bowl game because they suck. If they make it, yeah, the season starts with that. If they don't, we have to figure something out. Last year was a Leafs game because even Canada got bounced from the World Junior Hockey Tournament in the quarterfinals. It was going to be the World Juniors final, but which was the day before. Would have been the day before that San Jose Leafs game, but Canada got bounced. So that was the plan. That was the backup plan, and then that went up in flames. So who knows? Who knows? We'll see. Maybe it'll happen. Five 1-1 since September for Montreal, 2-2-3 for Atlanta. So Montreal's been the better team recently. Teams are about to kick off. 6 goals against, 11 goals against, 13 goals for versus 10 goals for. Montreal's playing at home. They should be able to hold this. We'll figure it out. It's funny. He used to play for Montreal. Joe Dickerson is the center ref tonight. I'm not mad about that, really. Joe Dickerson is one of the better refs. I didn't say he was great. I just said he was one of the better MLS refs. Kevin Stott, the VAR referee. Okay, that ain't so bad. That's a good start for the playoffs. That's a good refereeing start. It's not great, but Joe Dickerson is one of the better refs, in my opinion, in MLS. Didn't say he was great. I just said he was serviceable. One of the best means serviceable, but, what can you do? Atlanta wearing their baby blue kits. Montreal wearing their blue and black kits. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Like, red and black would have been less of a clash than baby blue versus dark blue. I feel like that was, how that guy does that Was That Effing Necessary series on TikTok for like shirt changes in the Premier League. This is like the opposite of that. Like, this was I guess it was a needless change, but I feel like this is more of a clash than Atlanta wearing their red and black kit. Like, what are they doing? Montreal playing forward. Like, baby blue versus royal blue. That's a bad... I could tell the difference, but, they have red. They couldn't get Thomas Tuchel, so now Xavi's their hope. Dude couldn't even succeed with Barca, and he had Lamine Yamal. What do you think he's going to do at Man United? How? Playing forward, Montreal. Man United, they're trash. What a trash. Delete the club. At this point, you should just keep Ten Hag. At this point, can't get Thomas Tuchel. Well, this is also true. I think the saying is nothing like Christmas in July, but okay. 2 minutes in, 0-0. Is it actually on a Friday this year? No, Christmas is on a Wednesday this year, sadly. You may be putting your tree up on Friday, which, I don't blame you. Halloween ain't even a real holiday to me anymore. What calendar are you looking at? 2 minutes in. What calendar are you looking at? I told you Yankees versus Dodgers. I just hope the Dodgers win the World Series. I can't stand the Yankees. If the Yankees win the World Series, Atlanta gets through but cleared away by Piet. Yankees fans are going to be so insufferable. And they're keeping Juan Soto, obviously. Basically means if the Yankees win the World Series, Yankees fans are insufferable, and the Blue Jays are going to suck next year. Obviously suck next year. I can't stand that. So please, Dodgers, give us a slight chance of maybe stealing Juan Soto. At least give me some hope. At least give me some hope the Toronto Blue Jays could steal Juan Soto and have a chance to do it. They won't. Just give me some hope. Just like the Ohtani thing, Well, no, you do owe me. Yeah, the Dodgers do owe me. Y'all stole Ohtani from under our noses. Give us a chance to get Soto. Please. And shut Yankees fans up while you're at it. Please. Oh, and by the way, give us back Teoscar Hernandez. Thank you. I know he's a free agent, but still. 4 minutes in. Nil. 4 minutes in, 3-0 Rangers. Damn. Both teams look kind of shaky, though. I'd say the Yankees look shakier. Like, Cleveland was still in it. They just can't hit home runs. Like, the thing about the Cleveland Guardians is they got good hitters, but besides John Kenzie Noel and maybe Naylor, they can't hit home runs. Like, they could make contact, but the problem is with their contact is it's very, what's the word? Very soft and very easy to field. And the Yankees pitchers definitely like inducing ground balls. So that's exactly what Cleveland played into. And they were kind of afraid to pitch to Giancarlo and Soto and Judge. Like, those bats could carry you far. But the difference between the Dodgers pitching and the Guardians pitching, my bad. The Cleveland Guardians pitching is the difference is the Dodgers aren't afraid to pitch to the big guys. What happened to your freaking autocorrect? Is they're not afraid. The Guardians pitching was afraid. The Dodgers pitching has been good, especially the bullpen. If the starters could fix up, I mean, you both got potent lineups. I think the Dodgers are better, honestly, or less fraudulent. Like, yeah, did the Mets win more games than the Guardians did? Yes. Yes, they did. Did it look any more dominant than what the Guardians look like? Honestly, I wouldn't say dominant, but better than what the Guardians looked at throughout the series. No, it did not. So it was either the Mets won by a lot or the Dodgers won by a lot. So there you go. But Max Bretos is the commentator for Portland tomorrow. That's going to be insufferable. Shot. Oh, what a save by Guzan. I can't believe he pulled that out of his bag. He still got that? Joseph Martinez goes just wide. 6 minute 0-0. Just put 350 on CF Montreal. Hope they win. Well, good for you. I hope you get your 350. I hope you get your 350. Well, I mean, I did predict Montreal to win the game. So, hey, you win 350 and my prediction's correct. Better for you than me, but, 7th minute. They're looking better so far. Alvarez playing forward. 4-0 Rangers. Jesus Christ. Like, I knew the Rangers were a good team, but the Habs are playing like they're the worst team in the league. Playing forward. Well, then again, didn't the Rangers stomp out the Leafs? Okay, is Shesterkin in net? Just a hunch. I'm just asking. Is Shesterkin in net? Like, is the game over already? First full-time head coach to qualify for MLS and MLS Next Pro postseasons for Laurent Courtois. Good for him. Of course, Crew 2 twice. Promo is coming in. Yeah, the game's over. They just pulled their goalie. The Habs just pulled their goalie. They just pulled Sam. Yeah, the game's over. Game over. So while I'm playing forward, yeah, game's over. That's it. But question is, do the Rangers have Shesterkin in net? Because if he is, it was game over already after 2. Like, right now, I gotta say, Igor Shesterkin is the best. Igor Shesterkin is the best goalie in NHL right now. Point blank period. Like, I mean, Anthony Stolarz is playing really good for the Leafs, but Igor Shesterkin, right now, he's the best. Like, right now, I know it's only been 6-something games, but if the Vezina was awarded right now, it'd be Shesterkin. It would be. It's not even getting goalie. He's just, you gotta shake him up. You can't just put shots on and think they're going through. You gotta shake him up. Screen him, shake him up, get him out of his positioning. You just throw shots on net, it ain't going in. How we doing, Daniel? Like, I mean, Stolarz is good, don't get me wrong. But Lennon playing forward. Lennon goes down, kicked away. Speaking of, how are the Leafs doing? Because I know they're playing the Blue Jackets today. Oh, Lord, of course. The Leafs are losing 2-0 to the Blue Jackets the day after they beat the shit out of the Lightning, of course. Of course. The Leafs just can't. I'd say 7 for NYCFC's regular season. 7. I think that's a fair ranking. How in the hell? Justin Danforth scores for the Blue Jackets. Who's the other goal for? Did it just happen? 12 minutes to go in the first period. Oh, Lord. Of course. Suzuki scores. Cross in for Montreal, CF Montreal. Hey, it's 4-1 for the Habs, or for the Rangers against the Habs. Saved by Guzan. Plus thoughts on Citi Field. Confirming the playoff game against Cincinnati. You know what? I mean, it's going to be Citi Field, of course, because the Yankees are in the World Series. I'm just glad they're playing in New York proper. Rob Valentino's 0-2-1 against Montreal as an interim head coach. NHL plays too many games and back-to-backs, too. Yeah, but how do you beat the hell out of the Tampa Bay Lightning, but then turn around and lose to the Columbus Blue Jackets? I mean, I know it's a back-to-back, and you're in Columbus now. You had to travel to Columbus overnight, but it's Columbus. No disrespect, but it's Columbus. Like, I mean, I don't mind the storyline of the Spirit of Johnny Gaudreau, them playing for Johnny Gaudreau, and the Spirit of Johnny Gaudreau making that team a playoff contender and maybe even winning a round. I don't mind it, but they haven't been too bad. But, well, 2-3. But, hey, for 5 games. Seen people have a shaky 2-3 start and make the playoffs. Speaking of, Oliver Ekman-Larsson made a mistake 3 minutes ago that led to it being a goal against. Devils 2-1 Lightning. Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better. 12 minutes. 0-0. Montreal looks like the better team so far. Let's remember, if it's tied after 90, we go straight to penalties to decide the winner of this wild card matchup. The wild card round and the conference quarterfinal 3-game series go straight to penalties. Then after the international break, when we come back to the MLS playoffs for the conference semi, conference final, and MLS Cup final, extra time for those 3 rounds. River Plate. If you watch the Intercontinental Cup prediction video I did, I basically said I pick River to win the Libertadores, then be the CONMEBOL representative in the Intercontinental Cup. So, out of the Final 4. So, River Plate. Looks like they're more like their older selves. Goal kick for Atlanta. Yeah, Pulisic's on fire right now. I'm happy to see it. I mean, Pulisic is legitimately playing like a top 5 forward in the world. I just want to see if he holds on to it. Finals also held in Monumental. Well, there you go. 14th minute. Can't wait for River versus Pachuca. Pachuca's going to get skinned. I'll be live for that game. Don't worry. I'll be live for Al Ali versus Al Ain on the 29th. The winner qualifies for the Challenger Cup, basically the semifinal of the tournament. Then December 15th, River Hate Rondon. So it's either Salmon Rondon as a revenge game or Pachuca gets skinned. We'll find out live in December. We'll find out live in December. Can't wait to find out with you. Winner plays the Al Ali Al Ain winner. Winner of that Challenger Cup final plays Real Madrid. How we doing, Risk Lander? Just penalties. One leg, just penalties. Yeah, because he didn't enjoy it. Then he goes to Mexico, wins the CCL. I mean, that's baller in my opinion. 15th minute. That's baller in my opinion, but let's also remember that the CONMEBOL champion versus Pachuca is going to be on in the morning slash afternoon because they're playing in Qatar in December. Predictions: Barcelona versus Bayern Munich. 8-0 Bayern. 8-0 Bayern. Undertaker. The Undertaker. Give me Undertaker. Especially Biker Taker, but still, give me Undertaker over Batista. Give me Undertaker over Batista. 16th minute. What's the best team of all time in a season you've ever seen? You mean worldwide? In football? Ooh. It's not Toronto 2017. No. Awesome team, but no. Bayer Leverkusen. Bayer Leverkusen. Bayer Leverkusen. Chelsea 2005. Bayer Leverkusen. Club season international. I mean, for me, it's a tie between Chelsea 05 and Bayer Leverkusen for the best club. Toronto 17 doesn't even compare. I love the 2017 Toronto team. It just doesn't even compare. International team, I'm going to say the 2010, 12, 14, no, 2008, 10, 12 Spanish team. That. The 2008 to 12 Spanish team. Best international team I've ever seen. John Cena. Lol. Speaking of predictions, who was right? Prediction of the World Series, this guy. Yeah, Yankees, Dodgers. I just hope the Dodgers win. Hollywood, that's what happened. Simple. Hollywood. 17th minute, 0-0. Moranchuk has been a great signing for Atlanta. I agree. He's not Almada, but him and Saba and Tiare are playing well together. They've got good pieces. It's just there's no more Thiago Almada, but they do have good pieces. They've rebuilt quicker than I expected. That's the U.S. title. Then again, didn't Del Rio beat Cena for the WWE title as well? But then the World Heavyweight title, which it's kind of funny if you think about it. The 2013 Hell in a Cell pay-per-view for the World Heavyweight title, Cena comes back basically completely from an injury, but it was expected because they announced it, but he won the world title off Del Rio. And then 2 years later, at Hell in a Cell 2015, Del Rio returns, wins the U.S. title. And nobody called that revenge? Yep, the ladder match. The TLC ladder match. Oh, and then the rematch of Survivor Series. Yep. Atalanta to Atlanta. Yeah, just take 1A out of there, Just take, yeah. 19th minute, 0-0. Nobody called that nobody called that a revenge storyline where Del Rio came back to beat Cena for the U.S. title? Kind of similarly situation. Well, I don't know if it was similar, but it was. "19 minutes. Now I popped more for Cena. I didn't even expect Cena to show up during the Bloodline Rules match. I didn't expect him to show up at all. Like that was awesome. Taker, I was like, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Cena was like, I wonder. I wonder. That was nice. Taker wasn't as surprising. It was cool to see him show up, but it was like, yeah, that's not surprising. Well, he got his head shaved by Donald Trump. He got his head shaved by President Trump. Well, he did punch him too. He did punch him too, but it was really Lashley versus Umaga. But yeah, true. But whatever. Just imagine if they had actually had a match, though. Oh my God. Honestly, that probably would have been better. Bonjour. Salut, ça va? Salut, ça va? Welcome. Bienvenue. Bienvenue en direct. New York Cosmos, NYCFC. I wish it was still the New York Cosmos, but, beggars can't be choosers. 22nd minute, 0-0. 0-0. As he should be. 4-1, as he should be. I'm not surprised. 22nd minute. Player down for Atlanta. I think it's TRA. Yep. TRA down in the box. Good tackle by Campbell. Damn. I'm back. I'm good. Playing forward. Into the first period, 4-1. That's bad. Playing forward, Raheem Edwards. Raheem Edwards plays it on to Saliba. Drops it back. Bryce Duke, Saliba. There we go. Probably Nobody. Saved. Over the bar. Saliba's shot just goes over the bar. Be a goal kick. But he puts a shot on. I mean, the French crowd for wrestling. Yes, honestly, I agree. There has to be someone. Maybe there's someone like me whose brain works differently down there. I don't know. We'll find out. 25th minute. See what's going on in CONCACAF. Playing forwards Atlanta. Piet, good clearance. That hadn't even kicked off yet. Damn, it's only 7:05. Jeez. Garnacho could be, but he doesn't live there. But he is Argentinian, though. Oh, true. True. But his heart is in Manchester. I agree with that, yeah. France helped the USA become a free country. So this is true, yeah. If it wasn't for the French, the USA would still be under the thumb of the British. And who knows, maybe they'd be very similar to Canada. They're their own country at one point, but they still have a governor general and a parliament instead of a president. Thanks to the French, that's not the case. I'm not dogging the governor general. I'm not dogging the political system. I'm just saying that if the French didn't have anything to do with it during the Revolutionary War, maybe the U.S. would have got their independence at some point, but it would have been like a Canadian independence where they're their own country, but they still have a governor general and a parliament and a prime minister. And they're still loyal to the royalty. So the U.S. is actually a truly independent country thanks to the French help during the Revolutionary War. So I think Mexico. I want to see a pay-per-view in Mexico. Preferably a SummerSlam at Estadio Akron. SummerSlam at Estadio Akron. Please. Estadio Akron SummerSlam. Yes. Or, no, actually, ooh. Or a Bad Blood at Nemesio Diaz. WWE Bad Blood at Nemesio Diaz. Oh, Lord, how awesome would that be? A WWE pay-per-view at Nemesio Diaz. Oh my God, that would be so awesome. 28th minute. minute. '28th minute, 0-0. Fair. Nowadays, that's fair. How we doing, Jimmy? I'd peg 1926 the moment Canada became independent. Last time a British governor general tried to fight a prime minister and lost big time, which is longer than most countries on the planet. Fair, but there's still a governor general that's loyal to the royal family. Technically, the governor general is the true head of state of the country, not the prime minister. The prime minister runs the government, runs the parliament, but technically the governor general is the head of state. Header! Goal! Atlanta takes the lead! Brooks Lennon with the header! 29th minute! Cross in, Brooks Lennon with a diving header, and it's 1-0 Atlanta. 1-0 Atlanta. 29th minute, and Atlanta just scored 1-0. Brooks Lennon. Cross in. High cross. Brooks Lennon with a diving header. Sawa couldn't get there. Atlanta takes the lead. Boom. And Raheem, either way, if you look at it, Can you react to my last two comments? Thank you for the $1.99, Daniel. One 0 Atlanta. Yep. Let's see. What does he got? You're not wrong. She is. You're not wrong. She is. I wouldn't mind. As long as I can wear a Patriots jersey at the Dreadlands, I won't mind. I won't mind. Let me wear a Patriots jersey at the Dreadlands. I won't mind. Or if I had to wear a New York jersey, Mets. Give me a Mark Vientos jersey. Thank you very much. Give me a Mark Vientos jersey if I had to. Yeah. Wait. Isn't WrestleMania in Vegas next year? What do you mean, Meadowlands? Wait, what? I was like, whoa, wait. Isn't WrestleMania in Vegas next year? When are they going to the Dreadlands? Does Mark Stone still play for the Golden Knights? Or does Alec Pietrangelo still play for him? Cross in. Worst comes to worst, I could wear a Josh Donaldson Athletics jersey, I guess. Or no, a Jose Bautista Las Vegas Lights jersey. There we go. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Atlanta scored 1-0, and they might just score again. Ball crossed in. Another one. Brooks Lennon over the bar. He almost got a second. Sabalov Janitze with a cross, but Brooks Lennon almost. Interesting. I saw. I always wonder, before the FIFA World Cup was introduced, the World Cup was the Olympics, and Canada won in 1904. If Uruguay counts their Olympic medals before World Cup era, so should Canada. You know what's the funnier piece of information to that for me? Is the team that Canada beat, or Galt FC of Canada beat to win the gold medal, was Christian Brothers College of St. Louis, in St. Louis. I always find that funny. They beat CBC to win the gold medal. It's funny. I always find that funny. That's like the craziest piece of history. But yeah, Canada should count it. But technically, I guess since it wasn't the CSA, they don't. But I'd put a star up there. If Uruguay can, we can. But, this is true. If Uruguay has 4, Canada has 1. Stone plays for the Knights still. Okay. Botafogo 32, River Plate 48, Peñarol 78, Atletico Mineiro 67. There's no way Pachuca could beat any of those Copa Libertadores winners. And guess what Pachuca are? 204. Damn, they fell off hard. I agree. This is true. I still think it's River. I still think it's going to be River Plate at the Intercontinental Cup. I said it last night. I'll say it again, River Plate. .34th minute. Headed forward. Caden Clark. Can Montreal tie it up? If it's tied, it goes to penalties. Alvarez with a cross. Cleared away. That'll be a throw-in for Montreal, 34th minute. Atlanta hits one against the run of play. They almost got a second. Can Montreal wake up? Assist comes from Amador. The cross comes from Amador that led to the goal from Brooks Lennon. That would be funny, but how many Atlanta fans are there? But they should. Dirty Birds, Dirty Birds. Header by, oh, Raheem doesn't get a head to it. Who doesn't? Is the Pope Catholic? Is the Pope Catholic? Does a bear shit the woods? The player should do it. I agree. I agree. Like, who doesn't? Do I look like Stevie Wonder to you? Do I look like Stevie Wonder to you? Montreal beats TFC with transfer history. Yeah, they stole a couple of our players. Whether it was directly or indirectly. Hell, 2 players with TFC history are playing tonight. '36th minute. They're on opposite wings. 2 TFC players. Again, EO is awesome. EO's awesome. Yeah, I agree. EO's cool. But again, am I Stevie Wonder to you? Do I look like Stevie Wonder? 36th minute. These glasses might be old, but my eyes function. Just saying. I will be getting new glasses soon, but these may be old glasses, but my eyes do function. 37th minute. No. They bottled the league. Why would they? They still have to play big teams in the finals. I think they're playing Peñarol right now. That's a tough tie for them. Here comes Montreal. And then if not, they have to play River Plate. If they don't lose, they have to play River Plate. That's 2 tough ties. I have a feeling it's going to be tough for them. No. Atlanta. Deion Sanders. Montreal's losing 1-0. Thank God the wild cards don't count on the bracket challenge. Even though I had them getting knocked out by Miami either way. I don't think either of these teams are beating Miami. Hell, I don't really think Portland or Vancouver's beating LAFC. I'd say Portland has the best chance of advancing of these 4 wild card teams. Exactly. And then Diego Alonso, speaking of him, is coaching Panathinaikos. I just found that out when I was setting up the Panathinaikos Chelsea stream. I saw their manager was Diego the Fraud Alonso, former manager of Inter Miami, former Uruguayan manager. Did he coach Monterrey? He did. Yeah, he did coach Monterrey. Former Monterrey manager. Former Inter Miami manager. Former Uruguayan manager. Fraud. And now he's coaching Panathinaikos. Atlanta's winning, though. How we doing, Winvo? Honestly, with a truly ridiculous amount of injuries we dealt with in the mess Saputo and company made with Chouanier, it's low-key impressive we're in the playoffs in the first place. Yeah, and then Toronto choked. We beat your ass twice, and we got knocked out of the playoffs. I mean, it's a joke, really. Toronto FC spends all this money on 2 big DPs, beats your ass twice, but still misses the playoffs. Saputo bungles it again like he always does. All the injuries they had, they still make the playoffs. I mean, I am hate watching, but duh. But not for that reason. It does sort of sting, I won't lie. Toronto above the playoff line all year, except for the last 2 hours of their season. Finally dropped under the playoff line. 2 hours later, eliminated by a team who ended up missing the playoffs anyway because they couldn't beat Charlotte. Really? You had to beat the Reds just to lose to Charlotte? I hate you, DC. Hold on. By the way, though, let me just, I don't think it's up, but let me look at the table. Let me just see. Had that not happened, I don't think so. But had that, nope, we still would have missed the playoffs. We still would have missed the playoffs, but like 10th instead. Doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah. I could see that. Flamengo's sort of at this point. Fair. I'll definitely beat Chivas tonight, but I'm not Montreal tonight. Where were we again? I know he left to Botafogo because he went to the group of John Texter's teams. People thought it was going to be Crystal Palace, but which they probably need him at this point. 40th minute, 0-1. Well, he fell off during the World Cup. Amador is down. The man who got the assist, he is down hurt. 41st minute. Problem with TFC is the same as the Leafs. The team is very much Bay Street, Canada's equivalent of Wall Street team. It isn't just that they're the one managing it. They're so used to, they can buy anything when they can't find a way. They just solve anything with money. You know what? I agree, because Toronto FC has no heart. I'll agree. The players have no heart. At least the players they bring in as mercenaries. At least most of the time. Torsten Frings didn't have a heart. Michael Bradley, for all his faults, especially later in his career, and might be the way his career ended at Toronto, Michael Bradley had a heart. Michael Bradley had heart. Josie Altidore had heart. Seba had heart. Pozuelo had heart. Osorio was never a Merc, but he has heart. Richie has heart. Lorenzo has no heart. Federico, I don't think it's hard for him. That's the problem. Frankly, he probably has too much heart. You know? Bernadeschi has too much heart. But I think that's a good thing. In my opinion. But the thing about Bernadeschi is I think he's shuttling way too much up and down the pitch. To do much damage offensively, he's shuttling up and down way too much. I think him basically running up and down the field, dropping back when he needs to, then going up, I think that hurts him. I think that's more of his problem. João Plata had heart. Well, he had to. I mean, look at how short he was. I love João Plata, though. I love him. Good player. But yeah, he had to have heart. I would say that Amado Guevara had heart. I would say he did. D-Row had heart. But what is the score? 0-1 Atlanta. Free kick for Atlanta. Say what you will about Montreal, but they're a club with a soul before they're a business. TFC is the other way around. Well, they started with a soul. I think Montreal did start with a soul. Saputo's trying to rip that out. But I do believe Toronto fans are the soul of the club. They're trying to give the club a soul. Montreal grew with a soul. We're born with a soul. Saputo's trying to rip it out. 44th minute. Yeah. Toronto wasn't born with a soul. Header, goal! Goal! Atlanta scores! And it's Brooks Lennon. I think, no, maybe Gregerson. Hold on. It was Stian Gregerson with a header. 2-0 Atlanta. Play their games on the road just like they are the wild card game. Hi-oh! Ball crossed in. Off the free kick. And Stian Gregerson gets up there and puts it past Sawa. Dear God, Montreal. Hell, I feel bad for him. Jesus. Atlanta scored 2 against the run of play, and they could have scored a third. Man, you got to do a lot to make me feel bad for Montreal, but you are. Another off the corner and header. I have YouTube TV. YouTube TV, 44th minute. I love YouTube TV, though. 0-2. He doesn't, I believe. I have YouTube TV, but I wish. But for me, Montreal, the club Montreal, I do respect the fact the club grew with a soul. And the fans are trying to keep that soul alive more than anything. The Montreal fans and Toronto fans are passionate too, but Toronto fans are trying to add a soul to a team that doesn't have one because of how soulless MLSE is, how Bay Street they are. I agree, but the Toronto fans, the diehards, are trying to give that club a soul and create a soul. Create a beating heart for that club. But there's a lot of things the Bay Street guys are doing to try to depress that. Montreal was born with a soul. And their fans are so, I have to admit, Montreal fans are so, 4 minutes stoppage time, so passionate. And the fact that they're fighting for their soul when Saputo's trying to get rid of it when it was always there is absolutely heartening. I will admit that 100%. I can't believe I am, but I will. I will. Deep down, I do respect the roots that Montreal, the Impact have. I do respect those roots. I wish Toronto, the fans are passionate, but when you're trying to build a soul, when the corporate overlords don't want you to, it's hard to do. It's easier to fight for the soul you already have when the corporate overlords try to steal it. And, well, Saputo's just more of a putz anyway, a cheap putz anyway. There's a difference. Toronto, on the other hand, they're trying to create a soul when the corporate overlords don't want that to happen. So that's just my opinion there. Exactly. So that's just, if you want me to be totally honest there. 0-2 Atlanta. It's still F Montreal always, but I can respect things about the club. There are things I respect. This is true as well. Montreal had to make it the hard way. They just joined because it was smart to, they finally were able to buy in, but it was Toronto needed a friend in the Canadian sphere. Hell, maybe 2 friends. So I don't know about friends, but colleagues, peers. They saw Canada worked, and then it was like, you know what? Montreal jumped at it, and they got it. But they had to work their way up. And also, they had some okay CCL runs, the USL team. They had some success in the USL. Well, Mark DeSantos is the manager, yes. Header saved. How doing, Henry? Same with Vancouver to a certain extent. Like, compared to Vancouver and Montreal, Toronto is the most soulless of the 3 MLS teams because they were made as an MLS team. Now, the Toronto Lynx was a thing, but they basically shot themselves into the ether because of TFC. So, somehow became strong enough to pull an upset the first Canadian championship, did a run in CONCACAF, which gave us the might to barge our way into a hesitant MLS before the door was closed to more Canadian clubs. Well, plus the fact Toronto had the fan base. Toronto had the fan base. I do think they saw that Toronto's fan base made them like, oh, okay, Canada does work. Plus the fact Montreal made their run. So there's a little bit to thank Toronto for, at least the fan base, the people who fill the stands. Club America, which I did love that. That was before I didn't hate Club America as much at that point in time. 2-0 at the half for Atlanta. But even if it happened again, I'd still root for America over Montreal. Still root for America. I think Toronto will be better off promoting the Lynx. Soul-wise, yes. Ownership-wise, probably not. But there's a lot that Toronto needs to do to rebuild. And frankly, it's to actually let the fans help grow a soul. And in my opinion, the best way to do that is to sort of inject college football culture into TFC, so to speak. You know, in my opinion, I think that's the best way to do that. I mean, I do compare Montreal versus Toronto to the Egg Bowl, to Mississippi State versus Ole Miss, because, I mean, there are parallels there that only I would see, but it's there. It's there, but I definitely, for Toronto's rebuild to truly work, you have to get the right players, but you have to have a true culture. And I think that culture is a culture of grit, a culture of hard work, and a culture of a fan base that they've always backed the team no matter what. But the team needs to look at that fan base and be like, you back us, we got you. You give us your heart, we're going to protect it. We got you. All right? We're going to do it for you. We're here for you. We'll perform for you. Which we'll give all the blood, sweat, and tears in our heart to fight for you. You push us through. You cheer for us. You chant for us. You do everything you can for us, but we'll perform for you. Give us your energy, please. We can't do it without your energy, which is where the college football type energy comes in. But you have to give them something. You have to give them the grit, the hard work, the blood, sweat, and tears to root for. Oh, I agree with that too. Don't get me wrong, but that's going to take a while. See, I want success right now, but not at the expense of the academy. We need to get our academy better. I agree. All for one does not mean what the current brain trust thinks it means. All for one is we're fighting for each other. The fans are fighting for us. We're fighting for the fans. We're fighting for the city. But when you leave, you're Toronto forever. Your heart has red in it. We don't want to try to make you stay, which I think the current brain trust is if you have an opportunity to leave, they get rid of you because you have potential. They only want players who are either there for a payday, who will help the team push over, or players that will stay there forever. See what they did to Jaquil. He has potential. They got rid of him. Schaffelberg, they got rid of him. Because to the current brain trust, all for one means you are Toronto forever. You are red forever, no matter what. And if you're not, you either come in to help us or you come up and you're red forever. I don't think that makes any sense. I don't think that makes any sense. To me, all for one means you fight for the city. You fight for the crest. We fight for everybody. In that stadium, everybody fights for everybody, well, except the away fans. But you get my point, and the away team. But you get my point. Everybody who's wearing red fights for everybody, whether it's in the stands, on the field, on the touchline, no matter what. The academy fights to be reserves and replenishments and refuerzos. All for one means we're all for each other. But once you leave, because you should be able to leave, you should be able to do more with your career. But always remember, Toronto's in your heart. All we ask for is that it's just like it's just like Dak Prescott with Mississippi State. All we ask for is you still root for us. All we ask for is you in your future career still look at us and be like, that's my club. That's where I came from. That's mine. I love you, ex-club in Europe. Thank you for the opportunity, but Toronto's my real club. This is where my heart lies. Because I am all for one. This is where my heart lies. But thank you for the opportunity. But truthfully, this is where my heart lies. And I'm so happy that this team is winning and picking up points and doing great things. But that's what all for one means. Everybody who's worn that crest, everybody should bleed for that crest, want for that crest, cheer for that crest wherever they go. That's what all for one means. No matter where you are, no matter. That's what all for one means. Not you're Toronto forever. You're stuck here. Don't just know you're here forever, like that Simpsons bit. That's not what all for one means. All for one means we fight for everybody. But once you move on to greener pastures because you're so good, because you've done great things, look at it like Dak Prescott looks at Mississippi State. You were here first. Always, always keep that in your heart. That's what all for one means. If you're performing for the club, you damn sure are. If you're a fan, you push that club forward. If you move on to something better, because you should be able to, that's how good our academy should be, is you should be able to move on and next man up, but always, always respect your roots. That's my point. All for one means respect your roots. Atletico Mineiro scores 1-0. Oh, crap. Never mind offside. So that's my point. All for one doesn't mean what the current brain trust thinks it means. It doesn't. So, there you go. I agree. The most ridiculous thing in that regard is Johnson was a Toronto kid. Now he's Montreal forever. Oh, yeah, that one kills me. And that's because Nashville traded his ass. So I blame Nashville for that one. I agree with that. And that's not what it should mean. Don't you agree with me? Like Rio, don't you agree with me is what I said all for one means is what it should mean? That's what it really means? Or what it really should mean? Or should it be all for MLSE? Or remember, you're here forever. Unless you have potential, then we'll throw you out the damn window. With that being said, take a short break at the half, talk about the stats. I'll get back, and then there you go. Sit tight, be back. 2-0 Atlanta. Back for the stats at the half. Good. 5-2 Rangers. Leafs are losing 3-0, so there you go. We're back for the stats of the half. 66% possession and 34% possession. 8 shots to 4. 3 shots on goal to 2. 358 accurate passes, 92% to 168, 82%. 4 fouls to 2. 3 corners to 1. 8 shots to 4. 3 shots on goal to 2. We got 390 passes to 204. We got 92% pass accuracy to 82% pass accuracy. 5 throws to 6. 0 offside to 0. 0 yellow cards to 0. 0 red cards to 0. 0-2 for Atlanta United. Montreal, technically, I'd say technically we're the better team over 45 minutes. They just got scored on twice against the run of play. Atlanta's been very clinical. Montreal hasn't really had any really big chances. Atlanta's been clinical, and I think they've taken the wind out of their sails. We'll see what happens in the second half, but there's at least 45 minutes. So, I mean, Montreal overall has been the better team, but when you get scored on twice, I guess you can't really say that. But Atlanta's done it 2 goals, 2 days. 2 against the run of play, and they could have had a third against the run of play. All of them have been, their best 3 chances have been against the run of play. So the question is, Montreal has to get it going. But this is their best 11. I mean, let's see what they could. I mean, they could bring on Sanusi, Pierce. He's a defender, but he did score in Leagues Cup. Bugaj, defenders. Vilsant, he's a talented player. He's a talented player. Jules Anthony Vilsant, they could play him. Mostly the bench is defenders besides Vilsant, Opoku, and Sanusi, and really Quadro Opoku's not the same guy he was in LA. Sanusi's there, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Well, thank you. Thank you. Just, it sucks to me that the fans try to bring the soul to the club, but it's just not reciprocated. And they want to talk about, Toronto wants to talk about a culture change. Well, the closest the fans were with the team was 2017, that era. And those players were proud to wear the crest, and that was the closest. I've seen this team be close to that. I've seen this team be close to more of my thoughts of what All for One truly means. And I know they could get back to that. But when the team says culture change, I don't know what Keith Pelly truly means. If he means that, great. But I hope he does. I hope he does. I think it'd be better to call the Pirate than use Drone Boy, but that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I think it'd be better to call the Pirate than have Drone Boy be there, but that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. But I don't know. Second half's about to start. Pirate better than Drone Boy? Probably. I'd say yes. But it's not up to me, isn't it? Something should be an alarm bells. There might not be any TFC players that are in the national team soon. Oso and Richie aren't young, while there's some buzz around Gavrani as competition. Well, midfield-wise, though, no, Bombito's a center back. Hey, when Alonso gets a citizenship, when Alonso Coelho gets a citizenship, he'll be on the national team, which is, it's 5 years, right? 22, 23, 2 more years. It's 2 more years till Alonso gets a citizenship, or not citizenship, but residency if he stays. If he stays in Toronto for 2 more years, which seems likely to me, he'll be on the national team if he chooses so. I mean, Spain won't call him up, even though I think they should, but I won't mind if that means Canada gets him. I won't mind if Spain's dumb if that means Canada gets him. But seriously, though, Alonso Cuello should be playing for Spain. I don't know why he's still here. Maybe it's because the team is so bad. Maybe if the team does get really good quickly, he leaves. Maybe that's the case. But he was even talented on TFC too. Like, he's always been a very good player. He's always been a very sure midfielder. He was the captain of TFC too that first year in MLS Next Pro. He's a very talented player, a very, very talented player. 5 years of residency plus actual citizenship. Well, whenever he gets, I have to look at the Canadian rules, but whenever, I think people were talking about Pozuelo getting when he got his residency, he could go for his citizenship when he was playing with Toronto. People thought he would last 5 years. He would have been older, but, I think people were, because Pozuelo never got called up for Spain either. I kind of remember that faintly being talk. But yeah, if Alonso gets his citizenship and not called up by Spain, which would be crazy to me, I think he could play for Spain. I really do. I mean, Rodri's hurt right now. You know what? That'd be the perfect time for them to call up Alonso Cuello. To be honest, I don't think you'd see a drop-off. I really don't. 0-0 between Nigeria U17s, Dominican U17s. That's a pretty good result. Like, in my opinion, Ecuador 4-0, New Zealand U17s. Damn. Atlanta has an 89.1% chance of winning this game. If you add the penalties, it's only 2.5 for Montreal. I guess 8.5 probably builds in the fact Montreal could win the penalty shootout. But for me, if I was the manager at TFC, I would get an actual number 10, like Usama Adrisi or Rafa Montanunez, the Dominican Republic kid, and put them at the number 10, have Oso on the bench. And I guess if he's on the pitch when Cuello isn't, Osorio's the club captain still, but Cuello would play a lot more games than Oso in my book. I'd have Cuello wearing the armband, in my opinion. I would. I have that much faith in that kid. I do. Alonso Cuello was one of the most bright spots of the last 2 years with TFC. And technically, I guess 2022 when he was on TFC too. Technically. I have so much faith in that kid. He's such a good player. Like, he's so versatile. He's a great player. Yeah, I kind of figured that would happen after the win against the Lightning, but I'm not surprised. Motagua 2-0 Aguila. Yep. Play-in game. Motagua leads 2-0. They'll still make the Champions Cup, even though they suck and bottle job everything. Tyler Wolff coming on for Atlanta. That's Tyler, not Owen, right? Owen's the one on Austin, right? Yeah, that's Tyler. Boom. Okay. I get confused a little bit. 49th minute. Amador's off for Wolff. Amador went down late the first half. He comes out in the second half. Does that mean Atlanta's going to go a bit more attacking? You already got a 2-0 lead. Head it in, say Basawa. Yeah, exactly. You should. Time out, baby. Please, Berube. But see, here's the thing about the Bay Street thing with the Leafs. I do believe Craig Berube is changing the Leafs culture. Like, I legitimately believe, more than anything, if the Leafs players understand Craig Berube's culture and they start picking up the good, getting rid of their bad habits, which they still have a little bit, but they pick up the good habits from being coached by Craig Berube, they could win the cup. If not this year, the next year. If not this season, the next season, when some money comes off the books, they could be a little bit more even. I believe Craig Berube will win the Leafs a cup. I believe he will. He is definitely changing the mentality in that team. They've been more tough. Like, they've been a harder team. They've been a harder-nosed team. So they can change the culture to be more production-based. when it comes to the Leafs. I do believe Craig Berube is single-handedly changing that culture for the Leafs. So if the Leafs could do it, TFC could do it, but it has to be the right guy. I think it helps that Craig Berube always wanted to coach the Leafs. If it wasn't the Blues, he said he wanted to coach the Leafs, and that was the one thing he wanted. He got it, and I think he could do it. I've seen him take a worse team to winning a Stanley Cup. I saw him do it with the Blues, and I was happy about that when it happened. But we'll see. Well, there you go. Well, Paul Maurice signed a contract extension. Nice. Obviously, I prefer we win tonight, but all that we get if we do is getting smashed by Miami, so I can't be too broken up about it. Well, Atlanta was going to get it too, so I mean, y'all were just playing to get smashed by Miami. I don't think either of y'all get to 3 games, to be honest. I think you'll be wrong sooner rather than later with Craig Berube. I think you'll be wrong. Last time they did, there was 6 teams. TV was in black and white, and Pierre Trudeau, the father of Justin Trudeau, was about to become prime minister. And hopefully Justin's the soon-to-be former prime minister. Worst comes to worst, it's going to be a year, right? Okay. Save. I don't care what party you are. It seems like everybody can't stand Trudeau at this point. Saba almost. That was a bad miss. Any options player between Dominican Republic like Sabal? Well, besides on Sabal or Molka, Ascona maybe is like a backup striker. I wouldn't mind that. Dude's getting older though. I wouldn't mind that, but I don't think I'd sign Junior Firpo. Well, actually, Junior Firpo could be a good Ralph Petretta replacement. But we got Henry Wingo. I mean, Nixon Gomes, Henry Wingo, Kevin Long and Richie Larea sounds like a good back 4 to me. So. Which one? Just Watch Me or guy who loves to box? Which one? Is it just which one? Are we talking Just Watch Me, Trudeau, or the boxer? Or actually, no, that's not the good one. Are we talking Just Watch Me, or are we talking Pretty Boy? Which one are we talking about? You mean Atlanta? Oh. 1-0 Atletico Mineiro. Well, I'm surprised. 54th minute, 0-2. Shot, sick. That's past the post. I know, but I'm making a joke because, well, I feel like people like Pierre more by the time he got into office than Justin, but still. I just wanted to throw in that I knew the history. That's all I was doing. I was just throwing in the history a little bit there. What about that goalkeeper, Miguel Lloyd? We don't really need a goalkeeper. I mean, we got Sean and Gavron. Would I mind if Toronto got rid of Sean Johnson? They picked up Hagen from Guatemala as their new starter. I wouldn't be mad about it. But I would be okay with that. If we could pick up Hagen, I wouldn't mind trading Sean Johnson to Columbus so we could sign Hagen as a free agent or just trade for him. I wouldn't mind that. Still have Gavron as the backup. I wouldn't mind that. But if it ain't Hagen, I'd still want it to be Sean Johnson, Gavron as our first 2 goalkeepers. In my opinion. I don't want Gavron to be the starter just yet. Now, I think Hagen would definitely stop him from being the starter way longer, but that's sort of the bet you make. that if Hagen's the guy, it is what it is. If he's not, Gavron's still there. Header cleared away. Well, I mean, I wish Toronto picked him up. We still needed a striker. I feel like Toronto. I kind of was banging the drum for Toronto picking up Joseph earlier this year before he went to Montreal. Yeah, I feel like they made a mistake by not picking him up. 56th minute. Speaking of, what happened? You keep Sean Johnson. I mean, if it ain't, I would rather, I'm not mad about keeping Sean Johnson unless we have a chance to get a guy like Hagen, the Guatemalan keeper. If we could get him, Pierce coming on from Montreal, Portland Timbers will win tomorrow. I hope so. Hope so. 56th minute. Wow, the Canadian teams that were in Toronto only lasted a couple of days longer. Playing forward. 57th minute. But '57th minute, 0-2. Drake Callender should be the USMNT's #1 goalie. I'm surprised he ain't getting a chance under Pochettino. You know what? You're right. I'm surprised he ain't getting a chance. Raheem Edwards coming off for Pierce. Jules Anthony Vilsant coming on for Samuel Piette. And looks like Kwadwo Poku was coming on if I was looking at the numbers right. Because I saw a 7. I think I may be wrong, but I thought I saw a 7. Yep, Kwadwo Poku's on for Caden Clark. Triple sub for Montreal. Miami will win MLS Cup, 3rd piece of silverware. Good for them. Cross in. Blocked away, throw in for Montreal. Pretty early, I would say. Options take Zach Steffen. I mean, I think Zach Steffen's the most consistent of the goalies. I think he's still more consistent than Drake Callender, but I'm surprised that Pochettino hasn't given Drake Callender a shot. I'm surprised, to be honest. Considering he's been the most open about a goalkeeper competition. Cross in, header. And here comes Jamal Tiare. Could he make it 3? In through to Saba Lobjanidze. Lobjanidze saved by Sawa. 60th minute. 30 minutes to go plus stoppage time. Saba's so underrated. He is. Like, he's a lot more underrated than, hell, even I've underrated the guy. I definitely have been heavily I don't like to say disrespected because that sounds bad, but I've definitely haven't looked at him like a star, which I do believe if Saba Lobjanidze stays for next year, I think he's starting to get into that position of he's about to be a star for Atlanta. He's about to break out to everybody, to be honest. And I'll admit that I think maybe I've been a little bit too discrediting of him because he's not Thiago Almada or Joseph Martinez, but nobody is Thiago Almada or Joseph Martinez prime. Or even Almiron. Maybe could cut out his own. See, I think the problem with Atlanta also is that, and this, I don't know if this is just me, but I think the problem with Atlanta is the fact that there's 3 big players that have big shoes that you have to fill or you're a flop. Like, P.T. Martinez sucked. I mean, I won't lie. He sucked in MLS. P.T. Martinez sucked in MLS. But there were players that I was like, they honestly were looked at as failures because they weren't the big 3 or even Yorgos Giacomakis. It wasn't one of the big 4 in history. I don't think Saba's going to be a failure per se. I think he's doing well. But he's got to really up his production to be that guy. Montreal scores! Joseph Martinez! Who else? Joseph Martinez brings them back within 1. Who else but Joseph Martinez? Head up play for Joseph Martinez. Heads up play for Joseph. Scores again against Atlanta. Game's not over yet. Miami need another defensive mid and right back. Laz Kritzhoff not starting for Miami. Cross in, saved, spilt by Guzan, and Martinez slots it home. Williams couldn't clear. Horrible spill by Guzan. Why the hell do they still start him? Why do they still start him? He's washed. Like, Brad Guzan would not have done that 5 years ago. Man, I don't understand. You have Josh Cohen. Let me see if he's on the bench. I want to see some. Josh Cohen's on the bench, and you still start Guzan. My God. 1-2, Atlanta still leads. Hey, at least it means you're in the playoffs proper. Do you think Atlanta did the right thing by sending Thiago Almada and Yorgos and kept Saba as the option? Right now, it looks like yes, it was. I mean, Thiago was gone anyway. I think getting rid of Giacomakis was a little bit too much, but Tiare has been good. Jamal Tiare's been good. Miranchuk's been good. Saba's been good. I think this is more of a team is the star type mentality, but they definitely play well together. I think they definitely play well together. And even then, Prime Joseph wouldn't have been nothing without Almiron. I mean, yeah, 2019 was still a crazy season. He didn't have Miguel that year. But I think he made Joseph believe in himself like that to have that 2019 season on his own. If PT wasn't, if Almiron wasn't there, I don't know if 2019 would have still been the same. I don't know if Joseph would have ever been what he was pre the ACL injury. Cross in. Header. Shot. Jaquil Marshall-Ruddy. But it gets cleared away. Josh Cohen would do better. I agree. Any options Atlanta definitely need. Well, they have Josh Cohen, so they don't even need a goalkeeper. But if they don't think Josh Cohen's good enough, I guess another goalkeeper. Why the hell is Guzan still going? Why? This makes no sense. Makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, I think they're in good positions, Atlanta. They've definitely rebuilt on the fly. Of course, you throw in maybe a center back. Yes, of course, Brad Guzan's the bald keeper. He always has been. Has Brad Guzan ever had any hair? I don't think he has. I think he's always been bald. Even when he was younger, I think he's always been bald. I don't think I've ever seen him with hair. At least I've seen some bald players with hair. Like Tim Howard, I think, did have hair once. Who else? You get my point. I don't think Brad Guzan's ever had hair. Jean De Silva being on the bench does kind of surprise me, though, for Atlanta. But he had hair in the mid to late 2000s. It was short hair. Yeah. Okay, so like Michael Bradley, but I guess. 66 minute. Somebody go put Stickum on Guzan's gloves. Somebody go call Jerry Rice. Somebody go get his Stickum. Oh, by the way, you know why Randy Moss is the best wide receiver of all time? Randy Moss never used Stickum. Boom. Maybe you should have in the Super Bowl, but, you know, if it's going to be a low-seeded team, I prefer it be Vancouver. I want Toronto and CCL. It's not that I don't want the Rapids to do it, but if it's going to be a low-seeded team who beats LA, I prefer it to be Vancouver. Just so Toronto could get in the CCL. I think Griezmann is going to LAFC. I think he's going to LAFC. He's not going to Miami. Di Maria, I could see him going. I also could see Neymar going to Miami. Griezmann's going to LAFC. That's always been obvious recently. Also, Tom Brady is the owner of the Raiders. Good for him. He's always owned the Oakland Raiders, so I guess it ain't no different. Hi-oh. Guzan's still great. Ha! When's the last time you watched him play? Pray chance. Pray tell. When's the last time you saw him play? When's the last time you seen Guzan play before today? Per chance. Jules Anthony Vilsaint making a run. Vilsaint making a run. Still has the ball. Montreal's woken up a bit. Top of the box. Plays it back. Cross in. Headed away by Atlanta. Campbell. Didn't he used to play for Atlanta, by the way? Picked up by Guzan. Didn't George Campbell used to play for Atlanta, by the way? I think he did. Let me check. I think he did. He did! 2020 to 2022, he did. Yeah, I was like, I felt like he did. Felt like he did. Got Campbell from Atlanta. Yep. I thought so. Wouldn't that have been funny? Halftime between Motagua Aguila, the play-in, Repechaje 2-0. I mean, what's the worst that could happen when Brady is the owner? It's more money. Atlanta's going to make 2 subs. I thought he did, but I had to make sure. I was like, that sounds... Didn't he? I was like, didn't he? And yeah, he did. MLS is weird sometimes. Who am I kidding? 70th minute. Jaquil Marshall-Ruddy crosses in. Nobody's there but an Atlanta player. Tom Brady or Tiger Woods. I'm a fan of both. I mean, Tom Brady, I'm a fan of more. But I was a fan, still am a fan of Tiger Woods. I love golf. I do. I love watching golf. I wish I could go out and golf. I would love to go out and golf on an actual course. But I'm a fan of Tiger Woods, yes. I'm also a fan of Tiger Woods. I'm a fan of both, but Brady more, of course. But I'm a fan of Tiger. I love watching him play the game of golf. I'm glad he had a little bit of a resurgence as well. But I do like golf. I think that's something that... Which also, Brady did a couple of those golf pros versus Joes type things. during COVID and stuff, which was nice. But I mean, I do like watching golf. I'd love to go out and golf on an actual course. Not, well, mini golf too, but on an actual course, or just go to Top Golf as well. Roger Federer or Tom Brady? It's the same question, but Brady more. But I'm a fan of Federer. I love tennis as well. My mom used to play tennis, which is why I like watching tennis, just like I like watching gymnastics. If she didn't play it, I don't know if I would have liked to watch it. But yeah, I'm a fan of Federer as well. How do you call the 30 more overpaid golf players in Canada the Toronto Maple Leafs? I should have known. I should have known. I should have known. I should have known. 72nd minute. Jaquil crosses in. Man, Jaquil's still so good. He's going to stay with the Jets until Aaron Rodgers leaves, and then he'll probably get one more trade. Man, Jaquil's so good. Why did Toronto let go of him? That's a rhetorical question, by the way. I know they're idiots. They're Toronto idiots. She never made it that big. She did it in high school. She never was a big gymnast. Like, she never did gymnast in college. She never was an Olympic gymnast. She just did it in high school. But so it's nothing special, but she was a gymnast, but not what you would think of. I'm not saying she was in the Olympics or she was a Livy Dunn of her time. I'm not saying that. She just did gymnastics, which is, she still watches it. I'll watch it too because she did it. Cross in. Oh, what a save by Guzan. Campbell puts it wide. Ask yourself. I know. Wow, what a shot by Campbell. But Guzan with a save. That was going in if he didn't get a touch to it. Corner, 73rd minute. So, it's not... You kind of asked it like, was she famous? No, not at all. No, not at all. That's the way you kind of made it sound to me when you asked that. Daniel Rios, formerly in Nashville, coming on. Dax McCarty, formerly in Nashville, coming on. Johnny Fortune is on for McCarty. I mean, she only did gymnastics in high school. Was never famous. Never famous. We'd be... Oh, I don't know. Gymnasts probably don't get paid that much anyway. But even back then. So, maybe still. But... She did in high school and still loves the sport. That's all it was. That's all it was. Cross in. Header. Cleared away. Yeah. Yep. Who wins Saturday? Cincinnati or Colorado? Colorado. The most insane match was LeBron less Lakers, smashed by the Warriors without Curry, 770 to 130 something. I don't even remember that happening, frankly. I may have saw the score, but I don't even remember that. I didn't even watch it. But playing forward is Montreal. Jaquil Marshall Ruddy. Man, it sucks seeing him in blue. It hurts. It hurts like hell. It hurts like hell seeing Jaquil in blue. I swear. Free kick for Montreal. Top of the box. And it looks like it's going to be a little bit chippy. 75th minute. 15 more minutes to go plus stoppage time. If it's tied after that, we go to penalties, which the way Montreal's playing, they might just get it to that. Oh, I don't know. Trailing leg, maybe. I don't know if I like the call. I don't know if I like it. Trailing leg, I don't know if I like that call, but okay. Pierce and Duke standing over the free kick. Toronto's idiot. Shot saved by Guzan. On target, but a corner. What a free kick. I mean, to get it that close. Pierce with a freaking rocket, but Guzan makes the save. Now, the sad part is I don't, was Jaquil cap space for Henry? Wingo? Or was he cap space for some that didn't materialize? Goal kick. I think it was cap space for some that didn't materialize because Henry's not a diva. And besides, he was more known for Seattle anyway. He went to Europe, but he's not really a European club diva. I don't like that. I like Henry. I do. Now, I think Jaquil was cap space for something that didn't materialize, if I remember correctly. Which, that would have been a European diva that nobody wanted. That probably wasn't even good enough to be on TAM, but of course, you know. But it's worse because I don't think it materialized. That's even worse. '77th minute. But hey, at least we got Tyrese Spicer, so you know what? Maybe it's not so bad, but hey, maybe when we get Ilyas Ajamash and have Tyrese Spicer, it doesn't hurt so bad. It doesn't hurt as bad. It doesn't hurt as bad. We'll find out. Oh, look, a CS Saint Laurent hoodie. Somebody's wearing a CS Saint Laurent hoodie. Respect. I respect that. You know, I have all the respect for CS Saint Laurent. I really do. Well, the club's an idiot, not me. But the problem with me is I have a football brain and not a business brain. Well, I have a business brain, but I care about my damn team football brain, you know? If I was making moves for TFC, it would be based off of what we can do for the team, not what the balance sheet's supposed to say. But that's just my opinion. If it helps the balance sheet, if you're good, it helps the balance sheet. Who are we kidding? I agree with that, frankly. Like, I wish the 401 Derby was against two good teams. Just like when the Egg Bowl was its best. Mississippi State, Ole Miss was good. They were both good. Now that one's good and one's bad, well, hell, you can't even say that about Montreal, Toronto. One just barely made the playoffs, and one is a clown car. But, you know, one's a clown car. Shot wide by Rios. But similar thought process. You know, yeah, I think it's better when they help each other. I think it's better when they're both good. I think it's better when they're both good. So I agree with that. I want the 401 Derby to be a freaking war of two teams that like, or not like each other, hate each other, but two teams that are actually good. Like actually fighting for something. And they might see each other in the playoffs. I hope the CS Saint Laurent will be CPL's Quebec team soon. I think they will be. But I want to see Toronto play them again. Like, I would love to see Toronto play them again. That was fun. Not because we won 11-1 on aggregate, but actually CS Saint Laurent was trying to play. Like, the reason we won 11-1 is because they tried to play. They tried to be open. They tried to come forward to score a goal, and they got a goal that they deserved. See, Simcoe only lost 5-0 because we had to break them down. Saint Laurent played right at us. They tried to score their own goals. They weren't afraid of Toronto, which at that point I don't know if you should have been. But the way they played, I gained a lot of respect for them. Like, they don't care who they're playing. They're going to play their way. And I love that. Sanusi Ibrahim coming on for Bryce Duke. I love that idea. I love that. You know, I love that they aren't afraid to play their system no matter who they're playing. That gave me a lot of respect for them, I have to say. That's some that I have to say. I gained a lot of respect from there. Golden State's my favorite team. Lakers is my second favorite. They developed some players too, Kone and Bombito. Yes, they did. They sure did. What about Von Azzoli? They're like Simcoe. Like, they're a League One Canada team who's going to play like a punk when they see an MLS team, and even some CPL teams. They've done good things for the League One Ontario, but that's basically what they are. I'm not saying Saint Laurent should compete against an MLS team, but at least they try. Von Azzoli, just like Simcoe, doesn't. 81st minute. Dodgers, please. I want the Dodgers to win. I would prefer the Dodgers. Like, both outcomes suck. I would prefer the Dodgers. If the Yankees lose the World Series, the Jays have a chance to get Juan Soto. If the Yankees win the World Series, he's staying no matter what. He's staying no matter what. There's no way in hell. It may be drawn out, but there's no way in hell the Jays get him. The Jays are going to suck next year. If the Yankees surely will suck next year if the Yankees win the World Series. The Jays have a lesser chance of sucking next year if the Dodgers win. So in that case, because it helps the Jays, that's the way I'm coping about it, or at least possibly does. I prefer the Dodgers winning the World Series. We'll talk with 2-0 Aguila. Yep. I hate both teams, but I hate the Bruins more. But I'm a Leafs and Raptors fan, so I hate both teams. I hate the Bruins more. And by the way, Jason Tatum isn't the freaking star that you think he is. Man, he's overrated. Man, Jason Tatum's overrated. Like, I hate hearing it. I really do. Just because he went to Chaminade. People are like, oh, Jason Tatum's the GOAT. Jason Tatum's the best NBA player right now. My ass. Man, I was hearing that shit in 2017 when he was about to get drafted. Like, it was like, oh, he's going to be so great. He played at Chaminade. Get on. I don't want to hear. And people have been freaking glazing Jason Tatum for years. And I'm like, he's just like Josh Sargent. It's just like the Josh Sargent situation. People around me were glazing Josh Sargent so heavily just because of where he was from. And it's just like Jason Tatum. And I'd say Jason Tatum's doing better. He won an NBA championship. Josh Sargent has never become that chosen one that people thought he would. Man, you should have heard it. You should have heard it. People were like, oh, Josh Sargent's going to be the number 9 of the future for the USA. He's on fire right now. He's going to be the guy. I'm like, I think he was still sort of struggling at Werder Bremen at that point. And I'm like, this dude who can't score at Werder Bremen is going to be the future. Are you delusional? Are you absolutely delusional? Like, Jesus Christ. That's a foul. Free kick for Montreal. Penalty for Montreal. It's a penalty for Montreal. Dax McCarty's still playing today. Let's go. Let's put some respect on that man's name. I respect it. Just outside the box. Just outside. It's a free kick, actually. I thought so. Hold on. Let's see. Plays through. I mean, the foul's right on the line. I mean, it's right on the line. I mean, the foul's right on the line. I mean, you can't really... it's going to be a free kick. IMO, they should VAR it. I mean, the foul's right on the line. Nashville misses Dax. I agree. I think that losing him was really bad. Vlad's going to sign. I want Bogon, but Vlad's going to sign. 1-2, 5 minutes to go, plus stoppage time. It's right on the line. They're going to check it on VAR, it sounds like. The referee's holding his ear. I mean, if it's on the line, it's really up to the momentum. Was it taking him out or taking him in? Like, if it's on the line, I don't know if I've ever really. It's a penalty. They're going to VAR to see if it is a penalty. They're going to VAR to see if it is a penalty. We need to drop Laren for Kerr, Ubo, or Russell Rowe. Personally, Russell Rowe, but it also seems to me Toronto might pick up Russell Rowe in the offseason. Don't ask me. Well, I've heard rumblings. I mean, his foot was on the line. The foot that was fouled is on the line. I mean, I could see it. If we drop Laren, we should go for Bear. I mean, I'd kind of like to see DeAndre Kerr do some more before Laren gets dropped for him, but I say Oluwaseyi, frankly. I'll say Oluwaseyi. Let's see what the call is. Penalty! Penalty for Montreal! Try to convince Promise David. I think they're going to try to do that. It is a penalty for Montreal. The foot that was fouled was on the line. It's given as a penalty. And if they score this, and this holds for about 10 minutes, we will be going to penalties. A penalty to possibly make it to penalties for CF Montreal. A penalty to possibly make it to penalties. They've been really pushing for that second goal, and they may just get it. Fouled on the line. Well, who knows? It's not done till it's in. Felix is right. But the guy you want taking it is taking it. Wait. But there's the wrinkle of Brad Guzan has faced Joseph's penalties in practice more than anything. If there's anybody who knows how Joseph shoots a penalty and can save it, it's Brad Guzan. Hold on. That's a good point. If there's anybody who knows Joseph to the money on penalties, it's Brad Guzan. I don't know if this is the best idea. Maybe you bring somebody else up for the penalty. And then he would probably have to take a second. If he makes this, he might have to take a second. Well, he would have to take a second. I don't know if you let Guzan see 2 Joseph penalties. I don't know if you do that. 88th minute. Oh, there's some drama here. Guzan got made to look like an idiot by Joseph already. Will it happen again? Joseph Martinez, shot, goal! He just smashes it home. Joseph ties it up. Joseph Martinez with a penalty. But that's the first of 2 he needs to score. Unless they score a goal late on. And there it is. Montreal 2-2. What a freaking... He just powered that shit in. He's like, screw it. Not even going to jump. I'm just going to smash it in. He got him. So at least for one, power leads to him scoring. Did he try to flex on Guzan? Ooh, 89th minute. 2-2. 2-2. 1 minute plus stoppage time. Yeah, it doesn't matter where Guzan knew him. It's just the kind of penalty you don't save. And then he flexed on him. He's like, oh, yeah. He just smashed it. He's like, I'm not jumping at all. I'm not hopping. I'm not skipping. I'm not jumping. I'm smashing that thing. And then he's going to do it like a normal one in penalties. Just wait. 30 seconds for stoppage time, which could lead to a penalty shootout for Montreal versus Atlanta. Man, I love the playoffs. I love it. Into the 90th minute. 10 seconds to go before stoppage time. Right now, Montreal has got themselves back in this match. They've been the better team for most of it. They got scored on twice against the run of play. Luckily for them, it didn't take the wind out of their sails. And right now, it's 8 minutes. 8 minutes of stoppage time between them. And who knows? It could be a penalty shootout. It could be a third goal. They could score for all we know in the final 8. Who knows? Or it could be a penalty shootout, or hell, they could pull a Toronto and lose at the last minute. Who knows? Who knows? Trouba get him gone. That should be a 5-minute. He just injured Justin Barron. That sucks. Pepe and Balogun in the future. Zardes never called up. Zardes hadn't been called up in ages. That man hadn't been called up since what? 2022. Wait, no, he got called up for the Gold Cup, didn't he? Wait. Oh, yeah, he did. He did get called up for the Gold Cup. I think he did. Yeah, my bad. I didn't count the Gold Cup because that honestly doesn't count. I mean, it counts, but it doesn't. Nashville declined big time. I agree, but losing Dax, I think, did a lot of it. I hope BJ Callahan can bring him back a little bit. 7 more minutes to go. No wonder Rangers fans didn't want him anymore. I mean, I always thought Jacob Trouba was a good player, but if he's became dirty, I don't like that. I don't like that. Got all Matheson set up for his guy. Good. Somebody gonna drop the... Is somebody gonna drop the gloves on Trouba when he comes back? Hold on. I hope somebody drops the gloves on... I mean, if what you're saying is right, I hope somebody drops the gloves on him. I hope Arbor Jekai drops the... Is Jekai playing tonight? Somebody get Jekai on when Trouba's on. Somebody, please. Somebody get Jekai on when Trouba's on. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. 92nd minute. He's not. Damn. Did Jekai... Oh, wait. Did Jekai get hurt? Man, Atlanta bottle job. 92nd minute. 6 more minutes to go. Wait, did Jekai get hurt? I feel like I heard some about that. Oh, did he? Maybe. "93rd minute. Playing forward. Ooh. "93rd minute. Playing forward is Montreal. Can they get a late winner? Forget the penalties. Can they get a late winner? Headed back. Off the side netting. Corner kick for Montreal. Good start to the playoffs. I agree. Man, I hate the Montreal's in an instant classic, but I won't. I mean, it's a good game. It's a good game. I just hope Portland versus Vancouver is just as good, especially since it's a late game. Corner for Montreal. 4 minutes of stoppage time down. 4 to go. Man, if they score, that's probably a game winner. If they don't, if Atlanta doesn't, we go to pens. Atlanta did lose a penalty shootout to DC United, and I think Montreal's better than them, so that could be interesting. And wasn't Sawa a pretty good keeper at penalties? Cross in. I think I remember him being a pretty good keeper at penalties, so yeah. Trouba didn't get a 5-minute. Rangers get a power play. That's BS. Damn. That sucks. Jaquil plays it back to Sawa. Oh, no. Oh, no. He almost... Waterman. Don't... Okay, good. Sawa's a good shot stopper generally. He's arguably a good guy for penalties. Better than Alex Bono. Man, Atlanta lost to Alex Bono in a penalty shootout. Just saying. Just saying. So, I'm just saying. That was like, what, 3 months ago? 2 months ago? Oh! Oof, Maron. Playing forward is Campbell. 95 minutes, 3 minutes to go. Over halfway through stoppage time. Montreal. Opoku. Quadwo Opoku plays it on to Jules Anthony Vilsaint. Vilsaint makes the run. Trying to cut in. Vilsaint does cut in. Can he cross it? Blocked. That can be cleared by Atlanta. And that's going to be a free kick the other way. No, it's a Montreal throw. I'm honestly surprised. Jaquil Marshall-Ruddy. Jaquil, back to Vilsaint. Vilsaint with a cross, cleared. All the way back to Jaquil. Jaquil picks it up. Over the top, and Waterman loses the ball. Loses positioning. 96th minute, 2 minutes to go. Headed down, Vilsaint. Jaquil Marshall-Ruddy. Jaquil, back to Vilsaint. Vilsaint, turn around, can cross. Header. Nobody's there. And nobody's there for the second ball either. 2 minutes to go. 2-2. Damn. Celtics is slapping them up. The Celtics are slapping them up. Yellow card. Montreal gives up. Rios gets pulled. That'll be a free kick for Atlanta. Campbell gets a yellow card for fouling Rios in the last couple of minutes. Could this be a bad moment for Montreal? Could they give up this free kick? 1 minute to go, stoppage time. Habs killed the power play. That's good karma, or that's karma. Yeah. 1 minute to go. Atlanta has a free kick to end up winning this before penalties. It's tied 2-2. We'll probably go to penalties unless Atlanta scores this free kick. Gabriel Corbo is coming on for George Campbell. Gabriel Corbo for Montreal. It's 2-2, and it looks like we're going to pens. Unless Atlanta scores this free kick or Montreal scores on the fast break. Let's see. It's tied. Yep. Ball crossed in. Header by Stian Gregerson. Falls down in the box. Good play by Saliba to make sure that doesn't get far through. Gregerson tackled away by Saliba. Jaquil Marshall-Ruddy gets brought down, but Saliba has the ball. He plays it long. Opoku can't get there. Seconds to go. 10 seconds for 8 minutes pass. You respect Montreal's coach? Yes, I respect Laurent Courtois. He's a very good coach. Always thought he was good at Crew too. I still do here. I still think he's a good coach. I think he can bring back some of the Williford Nancy system, which I think he's tried to do. 98th minute, we're going to penalties. 2-2. We go to penalties. Joseph clinches it with a penalty in the 89th minute. They hold on for 9 minutes. And we go to penalties. 2-2. To decide who moves on to play Miami and gets stomped out by Miami. We'll see what happens. Atlanta did lose a penalty shootout to DC United and Alex Bono a couple of months ago, so that's something. So that's so there you go. Atlanta PK takers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I'll have a 6 there. Yeah, that works. 2-2, full time. Penalties, we go. So we'll see what happens. Sit top, be back quickly. We're ready to go to penalties. See what Montreal and Atlanta do. Team winner plays Miami, loser goes home. Gets eliminated from this season. Guzan, Sawa. Looks like Guzan's going to be the first one to go into net. And Joseph Martinez is going to go first. Joseph is going first. Who else? Who else but Joseph Martinez to go first? He just scored a penalty 9 minutes ago. Plus, however, the 5 minutes, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 minutes ago. He just scored a penalty 15 minutes ago against Brad Guzan to tie the game. Can he do it again to start the penalty shootout with a lead? Joseph Martinez. Will he go 2 for 2 against Brad Guzan? Or will Brad Guzan save this one? Will Joseph do it his normal way, or will he smash it again? Who knows? But Montreal, could they get into the catbird seat with another 15 minutes later penalty by Joseph Martinez in the shootout? Joseph, goal! Guzan goes the wrong way this time. He still smashes it home. 1-0 Montreal. Perfect penalty by Joseph. 2 for 2 against Guzan, his former teammate. Same side, Guzan goes the wrong way. 1-0 Montreal. Joseph makes it 1-0. Let's see what happens. Jonathan Sawa steps in net to go against Dax McCarty. Dax McCarty to start for Atlanta. The old head. The legend. Dax McCarty versus Jonathan Sawa. The legend McCarty versus Jonathan Sawa. Let's see where that goes. McCarty starts a slow run up. Picks up the pace. Shot, goal. 1-1. Wrong way for Sawa. It's 1-1. Tie game. Dax McCarty just scored. Thank you. Thank you. Montreal comes up for their second. See what we got to go against Guzan. Pierce. Tom Pierce. Their summer signing. Tom Pierce. For Montreal to take the lead back. Or keep them in the lead, I would guess. You don't know what's going to happen until it happens. But Tom Pierce. The summer signing versus Guzan. A short run up for Pierce. Saved by Guzan. Short-sided, horrible penalty. Guzan makes the save. He got subbed off, but he started the game. Yeah, so Johnny Fortune started the game, but he got subbed off in the 74th minute. Punched by Guzan. And who knows, that might be the opening Atlanta needs. That might be the opening. And it's going to be Daniel Rios, formerly in Nashville, just like Dax. Daniel Rios. To take the lead for Atlanta. Another former Nashville attacker or player. To take the lead. Sawag down the middle for Daniel Rios. 2-1 Atlanta. I mean, damn, Sawa went down when he I mean, why would Montreal come back then? And it's going to be Nathan Saliba. Nathan Saliba to take the third penalty for Montreal. Could he tie it back up? Nathan Saliba versus Brad Guzan. Can he make it 2-2 and give Sawa a chance to keep the tie? Nathan Saliba versus Guzan. Saliba, goal. 2-2. Top bins. Guzan goes the wrong way. There it is. 2-2. Nathan Saliba. That was a good penalty. That was a good penalty. Top bins. Kept it low enough to go in. Atlanta to take the lead back. Or will Sawa make the save, or will there be a miss? Let's see who we got for Atlanta. Sawa versus Alexei Miranchuk. Alexei Miranchuk to take the shot. Goal. Bottom. Good shot. It's 3-2. Alexei Miranchuk scores. And it's 3-2. Montreal to tie it up. It's Gabriel Corbo. He came on for penalties. Gabriel Corbo. Can he make it 3-3? He came on for penalties, it seems. 3 straight penalties for Atlanta. The miss from Pierce to put Montreal behind the 8 ball. They'll be even further behind if he doesn't get this, but under the arms of Guzan. Corbo slots it 3-3. Atlanta. I picked Montreal to win the game. I want Atlanta to win it. Heart says Atlanta, gut says Montreal, but Montreal's trying to gut it out. 3-3. Atlanta going to take the lead back. If they score, Derek Williams for the penalty. Derek Williams to give them the catbird seat. And at least clinch sudden death, and it's down the middle. Sawa had no idea. 4-3. That clinches sudden death at the very least for Atlanta. If Montreal scores, Montreal has to score. That's the first part. Montreal has to score at the first part. Then they have to make a save or hope for a miss. Derek Williams with the goal. And Jonathan Sawa waiting to see what Jules Anthony Vilsaint does. Jules Anthony Vilsaint for the equalizer to send this at least if they get the save or miss. Vilsaint shot, rolls it in, 4-4. If Montreal makes a save or there's a miss, we go to sudden death. Mo Atlanta Heart can't take this. It's just like the Braves. One day, they'll give you a win. But other than that, Sabo Lobjanitse for the win. Sabo Lobjanitse versus Sawa for the win. Man, if he misses this and nobody else missed, that would be so crazy. Sabo Lobjanitse versus Sawa. Long run up down the middle. Shot, goal! And Atlanta will move on to play Miami. 5-4 on Pens. There it is. All the guys that you'd be worried about missing made it. And then the guy they thought would make it, made it. It all came down to Tom Pierce, and Tom Pierce's penalty set it out to send this game to a situation where it didn't end up for Montreal. Atlanta wins. Thank you. Yeah, but the problem is their best center mid that kept that team tight didn't stay. That's a problem. But man, the Atlanta players are trying to console Joseph. That's some. With that being said, Sabalop Janice gets the win for Atlanta. They move on to play Miami. Montreal eliminated from the playoffs. They came back. They lost in penalties. They came back because of a penalty. They lost in penalties. How the turntables. With that being said, if you like this stream, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification once subscribe. Send chats on live streams. Comment on this video. Put us to playlist. Share with friends and family. All that great stuff. I'll see you within the hour for the review of this match. We'll talk about it. And there you go. I'll see you later. I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace. See ya. Congratulations, Atlanta. Commiserations, Montreal.